Hello, Steve. Hello, Joe. It's time to game classy.
Welcome. The recording is in progress.
Welcome, bienvenue, welcome.
We've done it.
We have done it. Welcome to Warhammer Recap. I am your host, Joe, and with me as always, my co-host, Steve.
We are ready to talk about not Warhammer 40,000.
Thank God. I mean, you know what? It's always exciting when Warhammer comes out with when 40K comes out with a new edition. It is because people get excited. But the more I see it, it's like it comes so like these new editions come so fast that I'm just like, what does it matter anymore? I mean,
yeah.
this is a big one because it fundamentally changes the game. The game is completely 100% different.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's Age of 40K.
Age of 40K.
I said, I mean, as a huge AOS fan, obviously I'm, very pleased with the the changes they made with 40K, for sure.
Roboute, Gilliam, and Lionel Johnson.
But Joe, you and I are not here to talk about 40K today.
We're here to talk about rowboats. Rowboat Gilman.
We're here to talk about the
not 40K.
We're here to talk about the deeply convoluted and complicated political position in the SEA. So we've gotta everyone you can buckle in, get yourself a cup of tea or coffee, maybe a cracker, perhaps a finger sandwich, and we'll dig right into this no doubt 7 to 8 hour group of content.
Is the SEA the
Southeast Asia?
Southeast Asia. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Something with Asia. I didn't know what the E was.
Yeah. So it's like Indonesia and
So we're gonna talk about cannibal tribes of Indonesia.
Delicious.
Long pig. Have you ever had that conversation with your friends about if they'd be all right eating you? If you'd be all right with them eating you in the case of a cannibalism need?
I haven't, but I mean, and I guess I would have that conversation when the situation occurred.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always preemptive in that, so to speak. I bring my friends in and I'm like, look, if it ever happens, like a Dahmer party or like the movie Alive, I'm more than happy if I am dead, for fresh dead, for you to eat me. Don't eat me if I've been dead too long. But if I die, it take as much Joe as you need.
Oh yeah, like if I'm already dead, go ahead.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I guess that's not a conversation we need to have. Yeah, if I'm already dead, go ahead.
Yeah, but some people get freaked out about that sort of stuff. They're just like, I don't want to eat him, blah blah blah. Like, no, don't worry about it. I'm dead. Please feel free to eat me.
Treat yourself, and it better not. All I'm saying is that the recipes you make with me better not be shitty.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would say. Like, use some seasoning. I mean, you got to have something. Yeah, I know it's an alive situation, but
forage for some berries or something.
Yes, I think that I would pair well with maybe a red wine. Maybe probably like a Bordeaux. If I was
it's probably pretty hard to get into a live situation these days.
And it happens though. Didn't it just have like a? Well, I mean, the sub people were kind of almost in an alive situation.
I don't think they were, because if I remember, I believe that the sub imploded like right away.
Yeah, but I'm saying if well, we didn't know that it but if they were just stuck underneath there, that would be kind of in a live situation.
Yeah, I guess sort of.
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't have mattered. They would have died like quickly. But I'm just saying, people do get stranded nowadays. There was just something about some kids getting like stranded in a forest lately, or something like that.
Oh yeah, they were in the Brazilian forest. They were in there for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I've seen Green Inferno.
But here's a weird, like, isn't that not, well, I guess we should clarify, because I mean, to me, being stranded in the forest and like being lost, to me, is not an alive situation. An alive situation has to be like you're lost in a remote area with no flora and fauna, so like basically your only choice is cannibalism. To me, that's an alive situation.
I could see that. But yes, you are correct. The Alive, they were up in the mountains. The Dahmer Party were up in the mountains. So you
Right.
just have to be stranded in the mountains, perhaps crossing to the Pacific
Yeah,
from
exactly.
when your migration.
Yeah, because like if you're lost in the jungle, obviously you don't want to be lost in the jungle. That does not sound like a good time. But in terms of like staying alive and finding food and water, probably will be fine.
You know, I am, as I've said numerous times, I am a flatlander from Central America, from Central United States. Like, we don't have a lot of basic forests or jungles out here. So the idea of me foraging sounds just like I'd rather just eat the person next to me than actually try and forage. It just seems like a lot of work.
That's funny.
No, I mean, it's true. All right. So we're actually recording a
You'd
little
basically
later.
be eating a lot of bugs, bro.
Yeah,
that's
pure protein.
it's pure protein. Pure protein. As he keeps eating butterflies. Pure protein.
We're here today. We are recording a little bit later than normal because we wanted, or a day later than normal, because we wanted to talk about all the big releases in the not Warhammer 40,000 preview.
It's a Game Classy first.
Yeah, we purposely scheduled the podcast so we could talk about an announcement.
I know. Look at that. Look at that,
Yes.
everyone. Look at what we did for you. We completely upended our schedule.
Look at us. Look at where we are now.
Look at us. Who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk?
Who would have thunk?
So start it right off with Cities of Sigmar, right?
Cities of Sigmar. This was one that I actually predicted. I was like, oh, they're going to
Yeah.
talk about Cities of Sigmar. That's
Oh,
not a really
absolutely.
hard prediction.
Yeah, it's gonna say Star
It's
Wars.
going to say Star Wars. But the Cities of Sigmar.
So I think they look great. I think
Yes.
they look awesome. I love the style. I think the sculpts look incredible. The Manticore is one of the most badass models I think I've ever seen from GW. There's like zero chance I'm not buying that model. like even if I don't end up doing a Cities of Sigmar army, like that model is fucking mine.
So one thing that I do love the steel helm guy, the guy with the big molten pot.
He's great.
I
Yeah.
love that aesthetic on him. I like the helmet, I think, most of all. I am kind of in the minority. 100% I'm in the minority. I just think the Cities of Sigmar stuff looks so generic fantasy that they're almost that the generic humans from what's that game that you really like? It's like a Spanish or French game, a Conquest.
Oh, Conquest, the last
think-
argument of kings.
Yeah, the Conquest, the Last Argument of Kings, they look like those type of models, which is fine. Those are
Yeah, I can see
good looking
that.
models, but the artwork in the Cities of Sigmar book are so good.
So I think I actually have a direct answer to that, and now I figured it out after listening to them talk and like looking at the models and everything they've shown. It's because, truth be told, in the end, these are not actually Cities of Sigmar models.
No,
What these are Hammer Hall models. So these
Yes.
are who you would find in Hammer Hall Gyron or Hammer Hall Akshi. Like
Okay.
that is why the figures look like this. Because I was listening to it and like, yeah, they're gonna say you can paint whatever sigils you want on like the shields, but like these are Hammer Hall. These are citizens of Hammer Hall, 100%. That's why they have this specific look. That's like all the stuff they have in the figures. Like these are Hammer Hall citizens. Yeah, you'll have crossover with other cities, but Hammer Hall.
So you actually listen to these yahoos talk? I never do that. 'Cause they always start off for 20 minutes talking like, oh, here we are. We're going to looking at the feed. We're going to see everybody who's here. We're going to have a shout out to the people in Brighton. We have some people on Ashen Von Thames. And we have some people here from America. It looks like the vast majority of people from America, but we're going to ignore them because we're just going to focus on the people that are here from Hamlin. Fucking hell. And the one boss, the dude who has the hammer on the ground, that's totally like there's a model for Cadwallon. Remember the old
Yeah, I do
Wallen?
remember Cadwallon. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was the weird not confrontation game, right?
It was like a confrontation RPG.
Yeah.
And but it was very model heavy, and there's a model that looks exactly like that.
Well, I'm sure some of those sculptors had to have ended up at Games Workshop.
Yes, which is something that there's gonna be something relatively similar that I'm gonna talk about.
Oh, you remembered. I don't need to remind you.
You do not need to remind me for the epic release that
Yeah.
when we talk about that. The not
So, yeah,
epic.
Yeah, so I think they're awesome. I'm a huge fan. What I hope that they have in the I hope this is just so. I mean, obviously, I'm probably giving them too much credit, but
Yes.
my hope is that this is just like the tip of the spear, and when they reveal the book's gonna show us some real cool shit. Not necessarily new models, but ways to use models in very cool ways. That's what I'm hoping for.
It could very well be. I do like the Manticore model. I think is pretty cool. I hate the rider. And normally I like helmetless heads, but I think the rider in this case, the helmeted head will look much better than the helmetless head.
Helmet head, no question.
I was like looking at that model. I was like, what the hell did they do with that sculpt?
Yeah, helmet head,
Terrible.
no question. Yeah.
But
the helmet looks dope though.
Yeah, the helmet looks dope. It's the unhelmeted head. I was just like, what the hell? That just that just looks like a bad sculpt.
Yeah, the head just looks it just looks weird.
It really does look weird. Then we are getting our moving on to Warhammer : The Horus Heresy :
Colon. Mighty War Machines were revealed.
Mighty War Machines were revealed in that they have the plastic Night Titans, the new Cerastus plastics. So
the Knight Acheron and the Castigator.
Yes. So these models were originally released for Forge World. They were only available through Forge World as resin models. Now they're releasing them in a plastic. They're very cool models. I really like them. I have a bunch of them. They're not official. They're China recasts, but I do like the models. I think they're really fun. Kind of hard to pose, but I think that they're pretty cool. The plastic is going to be nice.
Yeah, so the plastics will probably be crazy. Like the posability in the plastic alone will probably be gigantic.
Everybody always talks about posability with these things, but it's so hard to get the pose right.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah, you want to do something. The problem is that they're designed to go towards this like mediocre like walking pose.
Mm-hmm.
And so anytime you want to do anything fancy with them, the models just do not work the way that you want them to.
Oh yeah,
they're covered in cables and everything else.
Yeah, you have to do like cutting and sculpting and stuff.
Yeah, sure. I wish there was a little bit more, at least decent posability with the legs. Like give me one or two options with the cables that are underneath the legs so that they could stretch a little bit without breaking, and I'll be very happy on that one. Not that it matters. I'm not buying these models because I have China cast ones anyway, so it doesn't matter in the long.
It's cool. They look cool. It's cool. They're in plastic. I'm sure people will enjoy them.
Yes.
Those are the kind of previews that are like I don't know. These kind of previews are to me are like the worst kind because it's like it's like they look good, like, but there's not like I feel that there's nothing to get like super hyped about, and there's like and I wouldn't shit on them because they're like they did a good job.
you're just like gentle clap, nice job guys, good job.
Yeah, exactly. Like the gentle clap, nice job previews are kind of the ones where I'm like, all right, yeah, nice job.
Yeah, pretty good. I think and well, I'll get into that when I get into the epic release, but then we have Warcry. You got
dude. This warband is so fucking cool.
Listen, I know you just like baboons.
This warband is so fucking cool. The fucking grot with the big egg, just like clutch, like that is the biggest treasure in the world. He's got.
Yeah, you gotta protect your egg.
You gotta protect your egg, and he's got then the fucking baboons. Like, how fucking cool is that? And then the boss is awesome. I love the boss.
I would agree with you. I'm not a big fan of the new Uruk or whatever they're called.
The Cruel Boys.
The Cruel Boys. I don't like their design as much. I think that they should have just done a whole baboon warband. Why didn't they just do all baboons? That's what people want.
So two things. One, I do like how the Cruel Boys look. I think that they're a really cool orc, and I think they're a smart way to do a unique looking orc that still resembles orc enough that they're not like completely out of place if they're next to each other. So I'm a fan of that. However, all of that said, yeah, I mean, I would fully support a fucking all baboon army.
No, I don't want an all baboon army. I just want an all baboon warband.
All baboon warband. Yes. And it could be a special unit. It could be a regiment of renown in your army.
Yeah, there you go. Just give me a ton of baboons. Like, just give me a box of baboons to use in Warcry, and I'll be super happy.
The baboons.
So what army are you fighting with? Baboons? Oh shit.
What did you bring? I also brought baboons.
Because Steve, you all know what the most terrifying animal in nature is a baboon.
Is this
Or-
baboon? I thought it'd be
I'd say
chimpanzee.
chimpanzee, but
chimpanzees
baboons
are
are
pretty
close
horrifying.
enough, you know.
Yeah, chimpanzees, for like as cute and amazing as they are, they're also probably the most terrifying.
I'm terrified of primates in any way, shape, or form, including humans, but humans are the low end of the scale. If I just saw like a golden tamarin, one of those little tiny fucking monkeys, I'm gonna be terrified.
I would not be terrified of one of the tiny little monkeys.
Yeah,
I
well, that's what
I
you say until it starts tearing off your ear.
I mean, if I need to sacrifice some ears so I can hold a really cute small monkey, that's just the price I'm willing to pay.
I just, it's like people talk about like, oh, this person got their face ripped off by the chimpanzee, and I'm like, why the fuck were they near the chimpanzee to begin with?
It's true. It's true.
It's like, oh, why is this leopard eating my face? Because it's a fucking leopard.
Well, it's just like gorillas. Gorillas are like the thing that about gorillas interacting with humans. Like gorillas are very dangerous to humans for a very odd reason. The gorilla social cues. Basically, every friendly human social cue that exists, like smiling, making eye contact, addressing people, all of those transferred to gorilla language are all challenges.
Well,
every single one of those things is a challenge. That's why gorillas are dangerous, because if you look a gorilla in the eyes, he's like, oh, you want to fight? So he comes and fights you.
when I was at the zoo in DC, they had a gorilla there, and there was a guy like, you see the videos of people like showing babies to gorillas and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
There was someone doing that, but the guy was like looking at the gorilla, and I'm like, don't look at the fucking gorilla in its eyes. I know it's behind like 5 inches of glass, but still don't do that.
Yeah. If anyone's ever seen that viral video of the gorilla that comes running out of his enclosure towards the cameraman, and then suddenly notices the cameraman, you see him spin around and show his ass like a really crazy Michael Jackson move.
Yes.
If you've ever seen that video, the reason the gorilla does that is because the gorilla realizes he saw someone, made eye contact, and was like, oh, I am sorry, I have no quarrel with you, sir. So he spun around to show that he's like, I don't actually want to fight you. That was a mistake.
Yeah, I do not trust primates in any way, shape, or form, except maybe I'd hang out with an orangutan. I'm just saying.
Out of all the primates, orangutans do seem the most chill.
Yeah, I mean,
they're also the smartest. So,
yeah, I would definitely just like hang out with a gorilla, with an orangutan, maybe smoke some weed with an orangutan. I think that would work out in my favor.
Mm-hmm. That seems likely.
It seems likely. I think we're all agreed the orangutan would work. What was the orangutan model for 40K called? Jokero. The Jokero.
Yeah, the Jokeros.
But that gets down to it. I want the baboons. I don't think we see the baboons from the rear, so we don't know if they technically have red butts.
Or blue butts.
Yes. We don't know if they actually have buttocks that we can paint in specific colors.
We can only hope and pray.
And at this point, it is not looking, we look as likely as having a red butt monkeys as we do rescuing 5 people from a submarine that exploded. Imploded, sorry. Implode? I thought you said explode.
Oh
no. Can we talk about how awesome it is that 5 billionaires died underwater?
Oh, it's so good. I think we can talk about that.
I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like, and nothing was lost. And nothing of any worth was lost.
No.
Except maybe that cheap PlayStation controller.
I was gonna say, yeah, maybe the Logitech controller could have polished off someone's collection.
Yeah, like that's Pat B is mourning the loss of the controller right now. He's sitting there going, but what about the controller when they're bringing up the wreckage? He's like,
what about the hardware?
What about the hardware? What about the controller? Did they get the controller?
The hardware. That's so good.
Yeah, I
shout out to Peppy.
Like I don't care that any of them did not survive, and it's like I'm wondering if that is because I am older, and
no, dude, that's the vibe right now. That is straight up to that's just the vibe. It is not anything. It's everyone.
I mean, and I was just talking about like being from the Midwest and not going to jungles and like being afraid of primates. Mm-hmm. I also would never go in a submarine. Like,
zero.
I would go. Okay, I take that back. I would go in one of those nice U.S. nuclear submarines that we have. You know, like the Navy ones. They're like cruise ships at this point. I would trust that more than I would trust any other type of submarine out there. In all honesty,
I have no interest in being in a submersible.
Yeah.
I think camera technology is good enough now that I am definitely okay with drone operated HD footage.
Yeah, I mean, I would like, my dream would be like that, like the Captain Nemo Nautilus submarine, you know, like one of those like fancy ones.
Oh, sure.
Steampunk and shit.
Yeah, and it's got it has windows.
It has portholes.
Yeah, it is it's a submarine with portholes.
Every once in a while, you got to fight off a giant squid.
That's true.
And get out of here, you Kraken.
Get out of here, squid.
Get out of here, Kraken. Get back to your Kraken lair.
What I tell you? Get out of here, squid.
Yeah.
Don't like, catch you around here again no more.
Like that would be fun for me, but just why are you going down to see the Titanic? You only go down to the Titanic so that you could say, I went down to see the Titanic. You have no interest in the Titanic.
No, it's a flex. It's just like climbing Mount Everest.
Yeah,
because none of those people climb Mount Everest. They just pay someone else to climb Mount Everest for them.
Did you see that one person who got stranded up there? Like the person was up there and was going to die on Mount Everest. And then a Sherpa came up and was like, I will bring you back down for $10,000. And the person was like, yes, please. And so the Sherpa pretty much carried the person down Mount Everest. And then the person was like, I never agreed to $10,000. It's like, this person just saved your life.
Oh yeah.
And now you want to argue about that? It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Like these rich people are idiotic.
Sherpa should have got the money first.
Well, you can't really get. He doesn't have a Venmo or something on a.
That's the joke.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yes. But yes. So rich people dying, good. It's better for the world when a rich person dies.
We got babooned.
We got babooned. Oh no. I would definitely like to have the baboons with their red butts so that I can, show them to my enemies.
That's right.
And inflame or engorge them. Next thing up, we have the new Weird Hollow Warband for Shades for Underworlds. Sorry, they haven't called it Shadespire in like 4 years, and I still
I know. I still call it Shadespire too. Everyone still calls it Shadespire.
I know. It was like, well, that's one of the dumb things that they like. I get it, what you're doing here, but you had a name, you had some recognition. Should have just stayed Shadespire.
Yeah. The only way, like, if you could go back in time, the only way you could do it is you release the first version as Warhammer Underworlds, and then the next version Warhammer Underworlds subtitle, and then you start moving forward with the subtitles, because then that would prime and get everyone ready to adjust to that.
Look at you! You're some kind of marketing genius over here.
Hey. They're dope. They're fucking awesome. Little fucking creepy plague priest warband. They're great.
Best looking Skaven models I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I love the fucking sensor bearers. They look great.
Yeah, it's a really good mix of everything that you love of Clan Pestilence.
Yeah. You got sensor bearers. You've got a plague priest with his own little weird gear, which is always great to see, and he's got 2 sensors, which is cool. You got a little rat friend holding a chunk of weird stone.
You always like the little dudes.
I do like the little friends. I said that one. That was my favorite. That was my favorite thing about that one wizard they released. We had like 5 little friends.
He is a friend.
Yeah, look at they're friends. And then you've got the best. My actual favorite part is that this is a touch that I really appreciate. The 2 generic plague monks. Each one is wielding what the regiment options are for weapons. One is dual wielding, which is your one option, and the other has the staff plus hand weapon, which is the other option. I thought that I was just like, mwah, that was chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. It is really nice because you get the weird staff with the little letter with the little parchments nailed to it.
The talismans.
Mm-hmm. Talismans, yeah. And you do get the guy with the 2 knives, and he's like, you know what? This is pretty great. I got 2 knives.
He's in the got 2 knives pose.
Yeah, he's 2 wives. I thought you said 2 knives. Yeah, this is pretty great.
This is pretty great.
But yeah, I've been so out of Underworlds for a long time. I'm only really looking at them in terms of would I like to have these models in my Skaven army if it existed for Old World, which it does not. And I would. I would very much like them.
Yes. They would all be incredible unit champions and or characters in your regiments.
Hmm. Next up, we have the Old World, which is we get another Bretonnian preview. We get the new
Yes,
the new horsey man.
Yet another single drop of liquid from the finger to sustain us.
Yeah. So I was actually last night talking to some GW people, and there is no one knows shit pretty much at this point. And these are some people who know shit and they don't know shit.
Oh.
We were talking about base size. And no one's like of any consensus of what the base sizes are going to look like. Pretty much from what we know, 20 mil is gone.
Yes.
That's the 100% is that 20 mil is gone. No one is going to be on 20 mils anymore. Don't even worry about 20 mils. It's all 25 mil.
Yeah, your human size is going to be 25, and then it's very likely that Chaos Warrior / Orc size is going to be 32.
But that's the thing is no one knows. No one heard a thing. No one's seen anything.
It's true. They've only confirmed that the bases. The only thing that is 100% like confirmed is that all of the base sizes are going up. They said that.
Yeah,
they're like all of the base sizes are increased.
However, if you look at this knight, he is definitely on a 25 mil square. 25 by 50. So
it seems very likely that is the measurements. Yes.
So those may not increase in size.
Yes.
So it's all confusing. I mean, it's a really nice model. I'm not like, but it's like it's a Bretonnian knight. They've looked like that for the last 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great sculpt. You know, it's resin.
Boo.
Yeah, that part is a big boo.
Boo.
But I mean, yeah, you know, look, it looks good. I like it.
I would have actually rather the model be in plastic than resin, but
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think everyone would rather have plastic than any. I think everyone would rather have plastic than any other material at this point.
Well, I'd rather have metal, but
well, I mean, of course.
Yes.
Well, that's because we know that metal is the truth.
Metal is the superior miniature medium. I do have some problems with metal is just old school. So like the model that you're going to get in metal is never going to be as good looking as the one you get in plastic, but there's just something about metal feel. It just feels better in your hands for painting.
I like the chonk. It's the chonk.
Yeah.
This what it is. It's just that is exactly what it is. It's just the chonk of the model, like on all fronts. The weight, the heft, the size, you know, the size. It's just metal models, man. They're something else.
You do love the chonk.
I do.
And, but yeah, so as I'm saying, I'm putting money down that we're not going to see it actual release till June of next year. However, it might be a Christmas release.
Yeah, it's possible,
but we don't know for sure. So it would probably, if it was released in June of next year, we're about a year out from it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're starting to see some trickles coming in, but the trickles are coming in greater quantity than they have in the past.
Yes.
So I could be off on that.
Yeah, I know. We'll see. I'm excited. I think you're excited. I think a lot of people are excited about.
Excited. We're all excited. I think
we're all excited about Old World.
I'm cautiously excited, cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, I guess I was talking to someone else. I was like, I mean, at the absolute worst case scenario, however this pans out, I might just end up having a Kings of War army with really, really nice models.
There you go.
So right. that's like the worst case scenario.
I mean, it kind of is like, I think everybody needs a fantasy army. Like, and I'm not saying like you need to have 10,000 points. No, you need to have a standard like 2,000 points of a fantasy army, and you need to have it painted and based just to say that you have one. You can't really call yourself a gamer unless you have just that one nicely painted Warhammer fantasy army. I'm gonna be honest. That's exactly it. You need to show, you need to show that you have the patience and dedication to do that, and not just be like, I bought $10,000 worth of Bretonnians and they're just sitting unassembled in a box. I have a fantasy army. No, you don't. You have a bunch of plastic in a box.
You have sprues.
You have never taken the effort to put that army together and put in a respectable way and paint it to at least the tabletop quality to play with it.
3 colors and based, thank you.
I know, and you can't do that with Bretonnians. You do that with Bretonnians, people
Nah,
spit on you.
Yeah, you can't do 3 colors. Bretonnians are absolutely you cannot get away with a 3 colors and based.
It's not even spit on you in that good way. It's a spitting on you in like a bad way.
Yeah, it's spitting on you derogatory.
Yeah, not like spitting in your mouth, like you asked for it.
Yeah.
Spit in my mouth.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to the big release, which is not epic.
The little release?
Yeah.
It's the little release.
Warhammer previews. Battle on an epic scale in Warhammer, the Horus Heresy, Legions Imperialis. It's Warhammer, the Horus Heresy, Legions Imperialis.
Imperialis.
Legion Imperialis. Legion Imperialis.
It looks great. It looks really cool.
Yes.
Like super. It looks super fucking cool.
It does look cool. It's definitely a bigger scale than the old school epic, because as we all know, old school epic was 6 to 8 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
This one is, I believe, 12 millimeter. So basically what they did was the newer scale of Titanicus was actually a quarter scale of the size of the regular model. So if you took a regular Warhound Titan and decreased the size to 25% its normal size, that's the size that you had for Titanicus, which was, I want to say, like, I can't remember the exact, like, I think it was like 8 to 10% bigger. But it's basically goes up to about 12 millimeter. So if you do have epic miniatures that you want to play with, it's not going to match the same size. But all of your infantry, all of everything that you have, as long as it's on the right base size, won't matter. The only thing that you can't put on a base is the tanks. So you have to have the right size tanks, unless you're playing against a person who has the same scale army as you, then you're fine. So that's that end of the spectrum. I have I have a ton of old epic shit that I probably should just get rid of at this point. But I have it from there was a guy who was selling it. I got it like dirt cheap, and I got all of the old boxes. I got like the Titanicus box. I got the Space Marine box, the one with Al Pacino on the cover.
Yes.
I have all of those old boxes, and they're just giving them away pretty much. I think I bought like 4 of the box sets for like $60, and they were just loaded with shit. And I just have them. I painted a Space Marine army, but that's all I've ever done for it. It's I kind of like the box set that had the Blood Angels on the cover with the leopard. It was the one that it had Space Marines and orcs in it. It was I can't remember the name of the fucking, like, I think it was 3rd edition maybe, but that was probably my favorite epic out of all of them. But the Epic Armageddon was actually not a bad game.
Epic Armageddon was great.
Yeah. So now they have this, and you're gonna get a box
Plus,
set.
if you were a fan of if anyone's a fan of Epic Armageddon, make sure you revive Commissar Holt memes.
Commissar, the video game.
Yeah.
I forgot that there was a video game of that.
Oh, it's great. That game's great. It's just 1-to-1. I think it's the only Warhammer game that I know of other than Shadespire where where the digital version is the miniatures version.
Oh, okay.
It's because that's super rare. Because I assume that's probably one of the like rules that Workshop has for making their games. I would bet is that you can't make a 1-to-1 of their tabletop to your digital game.
Yeah, I mean that wouldn't make sense, but I guarantee you something that makes sense is not something GW would ever do. We've said that before. So the box set getting released. All I could say is that they need to add more subtitles to it. So Warhammer : the Horus Heresy : Legions Imperialis : Epic Battles in the Age of Darkness : Epic Scale :
Homoeroticism.
no homo.
No.
That would be better. That would be the best part about it. they say they're releasing a whopping 223 miniatures, which I
Well-
hate when they fucking say that.
Most Space Marines are transgenderless beings, so I guess no homo would be accurate.
Yes. Well, I mean, actually, it would be more homo because they are all very similar. So, and homo means similar.
Oh yes, I
So,
guess that's
yeah.
true. It'd be like homo squared.
Yes, homo squared. But so the bases they've gone to like it looks like 40 mil bases with about 5 figs per base. So, what's that like? I think there's like 40 bases that you're gonna
Mhm.
get. You're gonna get a couple tanks, yeah, and they have the Solar Auxilla in there, which to me is really weird that they did that. They didn't just do like Space Marine versus Space Marine in the box set. And
This is your thing, right? You had like a tinfoil hat thing about
well, I
this?
have multiple tinfoil hats about this. So one is that why did they release it with Space Marines and Imperial Guard? Because the actual Horus Heresy stuff is all Space Marine versus Space Marine.
There's no. I thought they do human stuff.
They
in, like-
do, but it's not like the game. If you're not playing Space Marine versus Space Marine, you're just the cheesy git. You're like that one guy when you say, "Oh, we're gonna do a Battlefleet Gothic game," and the one guy goes, "I'm gonna play Necrons," and you're just like, "Fuck you," right? It's like we're gonna do a Horus Heresy gaming event at the local gaming place. And everyone picks Space Marines, and that one guy's like, "I'm gonna play Solar Auxilla." You're just like, "Fuck you, dude. We're all trying to just do Space Marines," and you're gonna be that one dick who's got to bring the Solar Auxilla, right? You know what I'm talking about? He's that
Yeah,
guy
I
who
got you.
has to be.
It's like
contrary.
it's like being a contrarian for
Yeah.
miniatures games.
like, or what's that Necromunda gang that broke the original Necromunda? The one with all.
Oh,
the fancy-
Spryer.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna bring a Spryer gang. It's like fuck you, go away.
Yeah, it's like you dick.
You dick. But anyway, it seems really weird because that was the great thing about the epic, not the epic, the Horus Heresy box set was that it's Space Marines versus Space Marines. So you could either play it and break it down with 2 people, like a good starter set, or you could use everything on one side, which to me was like the best way. Like that'd be that box 100% worth it. If it was player versus if it was Space Marines versus Solar Auxilla in that box set, I don't know if it'd be worth it as much.
Mhm.
Now you have this set, which is Space Marines versus Solar Auxilla. Fun, but at the same time, you're just kind of like, well, why couldn't it just be Space Marines versus Space Marines? And I think that they did that because someone got butthurt that people were just buying the box set for the Horus Heresy and using it as one army. I don't know why that would piss someone off because I think you probably had better sales with that.
I would imagine yes.
Yes. But one thing I'm thinking is that this game is not going to be the game you think it is. I think this game is going to be you can only play with what's in the box set.
Oh, you think this is a boxed game?
I think this is a box game. I don't think it's going to be as linear. Well, I maybe not like having a board, but I think it's going to only have rules for the shit you're getting in this box set. It's going to be like Battle of 5 Armies.
Interesting.
That's what I'm thinking is like that's part of my tinfoil hat theory on this.
Well, maybe. And then what? They'll release expansion box sets that are like canned.
I don't know if they're even going to do that. I don't know if they will do expansion box sets. I think that this is just like Battle of 5 Armies where it's only a box set, box game. Like everything in the game is right here.
Battle of 5 Armies has a couple blisters though.
Yeah, but no one bought those. And so that's why they're worth like $1 million.
That's true. They're very expensive.
So maybe they might do like a blister of, something or a small box set of like, hey, here, if you want, this specialty dreadnought, here you go. But anyway. All right. So I'm going to end here and we're going to restart.
Okay. Very good.
So yeah, I think that the box set may only be what's in the box. Yeah. I mean, this is, I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying this is what I'm thinking.
Right here. Well, yeah. So we are, we said we're in tinfoil hat territory here.
Tinfoil hat territory. The other thing that I thought was interesting is I was like looking at the sculpts, right? The sculpts 100% dead on look like epic sculpts that you're able to find for 3D printing. right? Like even at the new scale, the design of them looks so much like the sculpts that they already did for 3D printing. I'm wondering if they use some of the sculpts for the 3D printing for the design of this game. And by that, I mean just the infantry, because I think that the tanks were all done with the new design in mind. So what all they did was they took the 3D designs that they already had for like the Predators and the Vicarns, and they just scaled them down to that 25% of what they had. And we're like, okay, print it. And that's how you got the tank size that you did. Now, with that in mind, you look at the Solar Auxilia, or whatever they're called.
Yes.
They have their little tankies too, right? Now, there are no plastic Melkador tanks, and I don't think that the plastic Russes are pretty much that design. So I'm wondering if they have already designed Russes and Melkadors and that crazy heavy Sentinel, and they just haven't released it yet.
Perhaps.
And that's going to be like an upcoming release. By the way, those heavy Sentinels look a lot like AT-43 models.
They do.
Out there.
They do.
Exactly.
Nice.
It's just so weird how Games Workshop will supplant a game like Confrontation or anything Rackham done like 15 years ago, and now like all of a sudden they're shifting everything to look like Rackham models.
I mean, we said when it was new, Rackham is the future.
I wonder if there was like some sort of secret miniature cabal that was in charge of everything, and they're like they saw Rackham come out and they were like, the world isn't ready for these models yet. It has to be a slower release, and that's why they killed off Rackham and just slowly supplant them with Games Workshop years later.
This all makes sense.
Yes, my tinfoil hat.
This all makes sense.
So
we do. Who gets people ready for Confrontation models? We do. We do.
I honestly think that that you want a cabal that's taking over the world. It's the miniatures cabal.
I like it.
Yes. By the way, if you are interested in Rackham style models and you have access to a 3D printer, Signum Workshop is a company that does 3D models. And I believe it's done by an old Confrontation sculptor. And the models are fantastic. So he definitely will give you that wolfen fix that you're looking for. You know, the big chunky wolf people. He's the guy that's going to give it to you. But
Nice.
but it's like
now, so you're telling me that I can finally address my sexy wolf lady habit.
Yeah, it's actually the funny thing you said that. I just pulled it up just to look at it, and the first model I looked at was Sexy Wolf Lady.
What's this name? What's the name of this thing again?
Signum, Signum Workshop.
Signum Workshop.
Yeah.
I gotta look at this. I gotta look at it myself.
It may just because of my algorithm giving me the Sexy Wolf Lady, but if it does it for me, it's got to give it to you.
Let's see.
Yeah. I mean, it's not 100%, but I think this guy obviously worked for Rackham at one point.
She's on the top. Sigurd the Rune Speaker.
Yeah, there you go. That's the one. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So he definitely has a very Confrontation vibe to him.
Yeah, they're sweet. The figures look awesome.
Yeah. So the Warhounds coming out for the box set, you get 2 Warhounds in there, which alone in the box set makes the box set probably worth it, because those Warhounds I think are, I don't know, $50 right there.
Yeah, for sure.
And they have some new loadouts. They got like a weird little missile pod and some multi-meltas and a big they have the Ursus claws. They come with plastic Ursus claws, which I know you don't read the Horus Heresy books, but the Ursus claws are very fun. Yeah, I know you don't read the 40K fiction, and I know you only read generally the AOS fiction.
Mm-hmm.
However, Audible has released a bunch of the old world stuff, and I think that you might get a kick out of that.
Oh,
so they have all of the End Times books are out now, and the Felix and Gotrek books. And the Vampire Genevieve, I don't know if you remember those.
I'm actually listening to a Vampire Genevieve right now.
Yeah. So they got all those great old world books. I like the Vampire Genevieve stuff. It's pretty fun.
Oh, it's great.
I do like Drachenfels because it's just like it was written in that time when Games Workshop didn't really have a consistent lore for their fantasy. So you're like, wait a second, this makes no sense. This goes against lore.
Yes.
It's always fun to have those times. And then but they have those. And then I do recommend the Horus Heresy series, it's way too long and there's terrible filler books, but man, when they hit, those books fucking hit. And I would really look up just like what are the best Horus Heresy books and follow along with those because they're really fun. When they're on top of their game, they are so fun to listen to. Like the first 3 books, which were the Horus Rising in those are fun. Those are incredibly fun. The Flight of the Eisenstein. A lot of the earlier ones.
You know what? It's funny that you brought this up because I recently remembered that I bought a Humble Bundle a while ago.
Yeah.
That was Black Library. So I actually have I think all the books are 40K. So I actually have 28 40K novels to listen to.
Yes, I mean yes, I give 40K a lot of shit, but I do enjoy a lot of 40K fiction. Especially a lot of the newer stuff. Like once they've kind of been on like something with the editing or the writing where they've been really on top of the writers. And what I like about it is that the writing is so generic in many ways that it's just good background stuff to listen to. It's not like you're going to get anything out of it. It's just like, I want bolter porn. That's what they're giving me.
That's why I love the AOS stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's He-Man.
Pretty much.
I get to hear dope story. I get to be in the situation where it's like, oh shit, how's this fucking character gonna get out of this, or how's Leopold Franz gonna get out of this fight? And suddenly, oh shit, the Knights Excelsior showed up. It's like, yes. Oh no, they're killing everyone in the village.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
But you slaughtered everyone in the village. There was a chaos shrine there. But there was just one guy. There was a chaos shrine there.
He-Man, Sigmar. How does the theme to He-Man go?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, it's something. I'm just trying to think of like when they're talking about it. There's like some sort of like key change underneath. I didn't
Fabulous secret powers.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
fabulous secret powers were gifted.
Fabulous secret powers were given to me.
Were gifted to me.
Gifted to me. I just watched the original canon He-Man Masters of the Universe the other day.
The Dolph Lundgren movie?
Yeah, that movie's simultaneously horrible and fun at the same time.
Well, that's good. Those are my favorite kind of movies.
I mean, if they should have just had movie should have just been called Skeletor. It should have just been Frank Langella doing a Skeletor impression. They're doing a Skeletor character. No, but because he's not that at all.
I know he's totally not that at all.
He's got that the famous lines like, "Tell me of the loneliness of good, He-Man. Does it compare to the loneliness of evil?" It's so like it's bad. They should. I like Frank Langella, but they really should have got Jack Palance for that character. It would have been so much better. Yeah, and then like at the end, like I never knew this as a kid because you're watching it, but at the end they ran out of money, so they just filmed it in the guy's garage. The whole entire ending of the movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like they just put up like these black sheets and they just had him fighting in front of like these black sheets, and that's how He-Man went. That's why at the end it like nothing matters because it just comes down to a sword fight. And that's why he wins. Oh man. And so yeah, that's the preview right there. We have all of the epic stuff. We have all that just released. I mean, I don't really think it deserved to have its own preview day, but whatever. They needed to do something for Epic, so they just threw a bunch of shit together for it.
It's very cool though. Like, I mean, I'm a fan. Will I get the box? Probably not.
What, the Epic box?
Yeah, the Epic box. I probably won't get it just because like I picked up War of the Ring recently, and I think War of the Ring would basically, like, if I were to play a game like want to play a small scale war game, it's like I'd rather just play War of the Ring. So
I was looking up War of the Ring because you were talking about it. I wanted to see a little bit more of it, and I watch Shut Up and Sit Down's review of it.
Mhm.
And do you ever watch them?
I have not. No.
They're not like, you know me. I hate most YouTube guys, but I kind of like their reviews. I find them actually very informative, and their review of War of the Ring is one of my favorites because they're just like, this game is fucking nonsense, but I love it. It's so complicated. I'm so frustrated throughout the entire play of this game, but I love it. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's pretty much that's like the type of games that they like, apparently, are the games that are utterly frustrating, but they still are compelled to play them. So it's like they don't like, if a game is fun, they don't like it. It has to be overly complicated for them.
Yes.
Which is it's fair. If you've been playing games that long, you don't want to play like a fun breezy game. You like the games that you have to sit and think about for 4 or 5 hours at a time.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. So my brain meat itch for this scale and this style of gameplay is going to be scratched by just playing War of the Ring.
Yeah, I think so. And I think especially if it is more board gamey than, let's say, war gamey.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it's like in the middle. It's like it's very both. I find, because
it's very
like,
both.
It's very both. It is. There's no other way to say that. It's very both.
I was talking with my Games Workshop people yesterday. We were talking about I was like, yeah, they asked me, did you see the new Epic? And I was like, yeah, I want to use those tanks for Ogre is what I wanted to do. They're like, what? I was like, yeah, just take everything and swap out all the units for Ogre stuff. And they're like, that sounds like the most amazing game ever. I'm like, I know, right?
Nice.
You get to play Ogre, but you don't get to play with like the shitty Ogre models or plastic cardboard, stuff that you have in there.
Hey, there was a release of an actual legit sculpted Ogre.
Yeah.
At some point. I think it was like $400.
Oh no, you could get them way cheaper than that. I'm talking like you could get like a box of the minis for like $40. They're not that expensive.
No. There was like a gigantic like metal Ogre. Like it was huge.
Like for like 28mm scale?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I could see that being expensive. Yes. I'm talking like for the game.
Oh.
Yeah. No, they those came out a while ago. But I could see that. I would not doubt that I could find a 3D sculpt of a full size of a 28mm Ogre model.
Oh yeah, now you could find it. I'm sure there's probably you're probably spoilt for choice these days.
Spoilt for choice.
Spoilt for choice.
But yeah, I was thinking like, man, you should just take the minis and just pop them up into put in the GW minis, and you'll be like way cooler looking than like the weird hovercrafts that you have in Ogre, where everything looks like it makes the noise. Yeah, exactly. Like everything is making that noise, or the Jetsons speeder noise. That can we make more moth noises on this podcast? I would really appreciate that.
Hey, I hope my speeder noise was sufficient. I thought it was pretty good.
I agree. Your speeder noise was pretty good. Yeah. But yeah, they have like all of the Ogre miniatures nowadays you can actually buy. I was just looking it up as we were talking.
Oh, and then I guess the other thing that's news is the pre-orders are up for Harbingers and the new Regiments of Renown for Age of Sigmar.
Harbingers. What are the Harbingers?
So you know how they did what was it, Dire Portents?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the Dire Portents for current Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, really? That soon?
Well, yes, but no, because this is book 1 Harbingers, because this is the current story. So what this is the current story. So rather than like a climax book, this is the start of the current story arc. So and what the story arc is, this is the Dawnbringer Crusade, and the Dawnbringer Crusade is there's 2 big ass Sigmar armies that are dispatched to do a crusade together. But this is like there's like a fate where one of the armies is doomed to be destroyed like horribly, and the other one is going to succeed, but nobody knows which one is which. So they both have to go. And like both sides know that they could be the side that's doomed. Doomed. Yeah, so that's the start of this story arc for this book. And the other thing that's tied to it is they have these Regiments of Renown who are in fact the Harbingers. They are the that is the character. So there's The Harbingers are the ones who they have the information, like the portents from the future.
The portents.
Yes, so there's 4 different ones. They're very cool. There's at least one new sculpt in each box, it looks like. The first one is the sculpt of the Frazetta. The Nurgle
the
Frazetta guy.
Death Dealer.
Yeah, Death Dealer. Yeah, the fucking awesome ass Death Dealer. Very fucking cool box. I mean, couple of them. It's got like the oldest models are the Blight Kings on foot. Then it's got the newer models of the Puscoil Blight Lords, the Blight Kings on the flies, and it's got the brand new badass sculpt of Death Dealer. I will very likely end up picking up this box because it's just a really cool box. A big fan.
Do you still have your Nurgle guys? I thought you got rid of your
No,
Nurgle
I did get rid of my Nurgle army. But here's why I would still pick these up even without Nurgle army. So because these are the regiments of renown, the way these guys are mechanically set up is they join armies that are not their home army. So these guys are a Maggotkin regiment of renown. So that means you cannot actually use them in a Maggotkin army. You can use them in any other Chaos army except for the Maggotkin.
Ooh.
So same thing. So the Flesh Eater Courts, same thing. Like this regiment you can't use in a Flesh Eater Courts army, but you can use in any other Death army.
I'll have you know those are Bretonnians. I don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. How could I have possibly mistaken them for a horrible undead ghouls? I can see their crowns and everything. My bad.
Yes. There you go.
Then you've got the Fire Slayers. Of course, I mean they're fucking Fire Slayers. They do have a new model. Their character, he looks pretty cool. He's a Fire Slayer. They have a very unfortunate design as to where there's no way to not make that army all look like the same guy.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest problem with them, and I think part of the reason is they went away from the tattoo model, so like they all have those runes tattoo, the runes burnt in their skin.
The Urgold, yes,
yeah. So if they went with the actual like learn how to paint runes on your guys, I think that would really change up the look of the figs.
Yeah, that could work. I mean, I like them. They're just, it's just I get when people say they're samey because it's like I can see the differences in all the sculpts, but like I mean, it's still just dwarves with orange mohawks and beards and naked.
One thing I will say, I do like how Age of Sigmar has gotten away from multi-part, like for posability's sake. Like, okay, you have this guy, he's only going to be in this pose. There might be a weapon swap. Yeah, because doing the old Fire Slayers like that, I've put together some of them because there were that weird transition between the two. Mm-hmm. And I definitely prefer the one piece newer Age of Sigmar models to what the Fire Slayers are. I agree with that. Yeah, and then they have some gobos, right?
Yes, yeah, legit gobos. There's it's a bunch of goobers. It's got fucking Squig Riders, Squigs, a couple Night Goblin like character looking guys. I think it might be a Gob. Oh no, it has the Gobapalooza.
Yeah, it's Gobapalooza in it. Yeah,
nice. Yeah, it has the Gobapalooza in it. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. It is. Yeah, it's a Gobapalooza. So,
but are we going to talk about the best release pre-order of the week?
Which one's that? Blood Bowl.
It's the Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine the board game .
I was taking a sip of coffee. I almost died.
You almost died. Yes, they are finally releasing Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine the board game and it's the one place you can get your exclusive Lieutenant Titus. Is it Lieutenant Titus? Captain Titus?
I think he's a captain now.
No, he's a lieutenant. He's a Lieutenant Titus.
Lieutenant. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and he is the only Space Marine you get in a game called Space Marine the board game. And you play up against a bunch like 20 Termagants, and they're all the older Termagants from like the new Leviathan set, I believe. So if you want a unit of cheap Termagants and the Lieutenant Titus, you can buy this box set when it eventually goes on sale on clearance at Target for $25.
Yeah, I mean it's probably going to be pretty cheap at Target just out the gates.
I was wondering that. I was wondering what do you think the retail on that one would be?
I think it's going to be $30.
You think 30 bones?
Yeah.
Let's see if they have it up for sale on Target.com. This is riveting, Steve. Riveting.
I mean, I'm riveted. I'm glued to my seat.
All
I
right.
can't believe what's happening.
They might not have it on the. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
$39.99.
Oh, still. I mean, $40 is still.
It comes out July 30th. Pre-orders have sold out.
Damn. Well, there
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah. Are these? I think no. I think those are the old Gaunts. I don't know. Gaunts all look the same. The Gaunts have looked the same. Rogue Trader.
So from this distance, they could be either.
They could be
honestly,
either.
yeah, they could be either from this distance because like the new ones, like side by side, they look. You can instantly tell. But the like at that distance, they're just too small to tell because like the new ones look great and better, but they still have the same basic design. You know.
I'm going to send you a larger image that I just found of them. You could tell me if you think these are the new ones or the old ones here.
I'm ready.
A second.
I'm ready. I'll know.
There you go. I just sent it to you. So
okay.
Yeah.
Those are the new ones.
Those are the new ones. So those are the new Gaunts.
Yep, new Gaunts, and Ripper Swarms too.
There's no Ripper Swarms in there.
Yeah, there are.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah. I didn't see those guys.
Yeah,
so yeah, you
Ripper
get a bunch
Swarms.
of Gaunts and some Ripper Swarms.
Yeah, so I mean that's probably like I would say that anyone's playing Tyranids, it's probably worth picking up 2 or 3 of these just for the Tyranids.
Yeah, for $40, it's like you get that, and then you could just sell off your exclusive Lieutenant Titus's figures and make back probably at least $25 to $30 on it.
Right.
So and then you'll have all the angry parents who buy the box set for their kids because they're like, I want to play with the Space Marine. And they're like
that clocks into like it's like $2 a model. Like what other workshop box set do you know of that gives you $2 a model?
Yeah. But I'm just thinking of like other parents who look at it and they open it up and then the kids see that it's just gray plastic that they got to put together and they're like, I don't want to play with this bullshit. This is fucking stupid, Mom.
This is dumb. Then he does a Fortnite dance. He does the default dance.
I'll tell you, I have my 2 children. My daughter will randomly do a TikTok dance, and I have to yell at her to not do TikTok dances. Then my son will do a Fortnite dance, and I have to tell him not to do Fortnite dance. Welcome to being a parent in 2023. Oh man, but yes, that is going to be the big release of the week is the Space Marine, the board game, Warhammer 40,000 : Space Marine : the board game :
Oh, nice.
Yes, :
colon. There's just so many colons.
You're just fighting inside the colon of a giant Tyranid. Now that's a fucking board game right there.
Colon fighting.
Colon fighting. It's like a board game that's set up to look like the colon of a very large Tyranid, and you play a Space Marine that's got to go up there and kill the Tyranid from the inside out.
I like it.
Yes, I think that would be a 100% bestseller, and they should listen to me in terms of my design. Wow, Joe, you're really great. You want to join our design team? No, I just want you to make a colon board game. I don't care how it looks.
Yeah, colon it up.
Colon it up. Any other news we should talk about today?
No, I got
right.
nothing.
Because I wanted to talk. I did my I ran my D&D game yesterday.
Mhm.
I just wanted to give like an after action report on it.
Yeah, let's go.
But not like in terms of like my players decided to do this. No, it's not like that. So what happened is I had the games like ready to go, did all my pre-work for it, and then I have this table that I built, and I was like, I have all of these unpainted, houses for 3D printing, and I should just print them up and put them on the table and do it really quick. And so I did that, and then I was like, I need some models. And then I was like, okay, so I printed out 50 models and painted them all in contrast within a week. It got that done. And then I was like, you know what I need? I need effects. So I made like 50 flame effects for the fucking table. I have burned myself out on D&D probably a good month or two at this point.
Nice.
It was really fun though. We ran the first chapter of Tyranny of Dragons, one of most derided campaigns of 5th edition D&D. And that's why I think I ran it, was because people hate it so much. I was like,
I don't get why people hate that campaign.
I did some modification. I tried not to do much, but I ended up doing it so that way I could not worry about a TPK in the first session.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it so that it was a lot more railroady than normal, so that way we can get done with the first chapter in one session, which I thought was important.
Yeah, no, that makes
Um,
sense.
And so it ended up working out really well because I think if I had given them the choices that were originally in Tyranny of Dragons, they would have eventually died.
Okay.
And like even
Gonna preserve the integrity of the campaign.
yeah. So one of the things that kind of sucked or the end of the book and the end of the chapter ends with a spoiler alert, a duel between a character, an NPC, and a Dragonborn, like champion of the bad guys. So it could either be an NPC or one of your characters. Now, I don't know a single campaign party that would probably not have one person volunteer to challenge the Dragonborn guy, right? But the Dragonborn guy is designed to pretty much kill whoever he goes up against. So if you're not running a player kill type party, that's going to dramatically affect your game. So you got to be careful on that one. So I modified that slightly to like where he pretty much takes the guy down to zero, 0 HP, but the guy's still alive. Like
Okay.
he's like Faramir at the end of fucking Lord of the Rings.
Right. He's like
Return of the King.
he's KO'd.
He's KO'd. So, but it ended up being we ran it in like 4.5 hours. It ended up being pretty fun, but it was just quick and kept it going. And we did have
Nice.
a pizza break, so there you go.
Ooh, pizza break.
The most important thing, a pizza break.
The most important break of the day.
Yeah. So, but I did want to ask you, did you get to use the stain?
I have not gotten to use the stain yet because the fucking weather's been so shit. I can't prime any models.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, I know.
So to let people know, I probably should wait until Steve gets a chance to try it before I give my
No, go for it because it'll build anticipation.
So in building all these houses for the game, I needed something that I could shade them with, and I don't want to use regular GW inks or anything like that because it's fucking expensive. And I painted 15 buildings in the course of a week. I need something cheap to stain them with, and so I went to Home Depot and to buy some dip. And normally I hate dip because I hate that you have to use so much matte varnish on them just to get them down. It's sticky, it's gross, it's a mess. But I did see BEHR Paints has a water-based wood stain now. It's probably had it for a while, but I don't normally look at it. So this is like based off of like 20 years ago. I don't think that they had this last time I looked at stain.
No, this is same. And I've looked at stain more recently than you, I'm sure.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, looks pretty interesting. It's water-based, so it can't be that terrible on your brushes. I mean, it will be bad for your brush, but it's not going to be like kill your brush like regular dip is. So I bought some, and I was shocked at how well it worked for the buildings. The miniatures, I'm going to wait for Steve to try and do it, and he could play around with it because he'll probably have more experience in working with that. But I will tell you, on the characters that I did use it with ended up looking really good. But I did them on models that were already contrast painted, so they didn't have a lot of high detail. They were straight contrast done on them, so they ended up looking pretty nice.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to test it with. I'm going to go contrast and then just directly on top of the contrast.
Yeah, so you could give me your opinions on that one. But the on the terrain, it looks so good. I'm going to be posting it on my Instagram, some of the individualized buildings, just to kind of give an idea of it. You could kind of see on the Discord right now, I put up some videos of some of the stuff I've done, but it's all kind of light effecty. So nothing too crazy. It's really hard to kind of see them. Mm-hmm. But my God, just for doing terrain quickly, I cranked out those 15 buildings in like 5 days. Most of it was spray paint, airbrush, and then I just stained it right off that. So, and I think they came out really good because you do want terrain to look super nice, but you don't need it to look, gorgeous, like super detailed, right? Mm-hmm. You want it just to look good on the tabletop, and that's what it does. If I cared that much about it, I probably would not use that type of stain. I would probably use like inks and washes and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But what I would like to do now is I want to get more of this wood stain that has more pigment in it. So like a green one or a blue one, and kind of use those to kind of see how those look as well. Because if you can mix them up and do some fancy stuff with them for terrain, holy shit, it's a game changer.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sick.
But yeah, you got to get the water-based wood stain, and it's just as a person who hates dip, I will say that this is the dip this is what I wanted dip to be when I first heard about it, and not that glossy mess that you can still buy.
Oh, that was the thing I forgot to ask. How, does it dry super glossy, or does it?
No,
does
it dries matte. 100% matte.
Oh.
Like honestly, it dries matte, and because it's a stain, it protects the model.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. But, you know, as I say, I haven't done too much with the minis, so we'll see how that works. So you're gonna give me your views on that one. I think it worked fine for the minis, but I'm also not like, I don't care that much. The minis were there for pretty much the dung in the Dungeons and Dragons. They were just designed to be. I did have a couple of those moments last night when we were playing where I got there, like this girl Glizelda. I was just like, I couldn't come up with a name fast enough. So
Glizelda.
I thought it's the Jarnathan moment.
Jarnathan, it's Jarnathan.
It's Jarnathan.
Jarnathan.
Jarnathan. Everyone loves Jarnathan. He's the best character in that movie.
He is. Jarnathan's great. That's such a fucking realistic, like, stupid name that someone had to come up with really fast on the spot.
That's what I'm saying. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So we were
Jarnathan.
One thing I will mention from the game is one of the players was like, how about instead of attacking turn by turn, we all attack at once? And I'm like, yeah, that's why in the movie no one ever attacks all at once. They all attack individually 6 seconds at a time. So all right, you could go to our Game Classy Facebook page, and a Game Classy Facebook page is the best way to find out our game. Fuck it, hold on. Reboot. All right, go to our Game Classy Facebook page. It's the best way to find the link to the Game Classy Discord, where we actually reside and hide in depth. Steve and I have become Discord moderators, so we have that on our resumes now.
That's true. We Discord Kitten is next.
Discord Kitten. I don't know what that is. I don't want to know what that is.
You don't.
It's and it does have an anime board on it, so we have that going for us. Yay.
Yeah.
You can so yeah, you can find us on the Discord there. If you want to get the link and you don't have Facebook or whatever, you could message me on the Instagram if you have Instagram. And Instagram, I am Game Classy Joe, or you can Instagram Steve at Steve doesn't exist on Instagram.
That's true.
Steve has been banned from all social media platforms, mostly for threatening the billionaire owners of these social media platforms, which good for him, in my opinion.
Well, you know.
I do. And then we have you can like, comment, subscribe on the iTunes, or like, comment, subscribe on the YouTubes. I'm gonna pass this out. If you have never given us a review on the iTunes, go ahead and do it. Give us 5 stars, but send us a little message in your 5 stars. Be like colon poops.
Oh yes, colon something.
Yeah, colon Game Classy colon Warhammer poops, something like that. I don't know. I don't care. To say, this show is worse than the Michigan Poker Hour. I'll bring back that old joke.
The Michigan Poker Hour. You can't believe it. He had a straight flush on the river there.
God, how can people listen to a podcast about one game?
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. So anyway, here's our Warhammer information. Good times. All right, Steve. Until what's that?
Sorry, no, I was too fast. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. So, Steve, until next time.
Upon closer inspection, these are loafers.
Later.
Game Classy.